all of your actions have to be in alignment with your desired identity. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. My favorite one. So what is leverage? So let's talk about leverage a little bit, you guys. If you said, I need to change the way I prospect. For me, leverage for that would be a variety of things. Maybe it's every day, I'm going to work on my skills. I'm going to do daily role play and scripting. Maybe you said, I'm going to make sure that my CRM set up to where when I get in the morning, I hit one button and I get a list of everybody I need to call. No distractions, no bullshit. I just go. Another piece of leverage. Maybe it's every time I get on my calls, I allow interruptions. I'm going to watch 30 videos on time blocking. I'm going to read this book from Ken Blanchard, or I'm going to read this book from on time management, and I'm going to become a master, or I'm going to talk to my coach because he is a time blocking beast, right? And I'm going to become a master at time blocking, and I'm going to dial this in. Leverage. My favorite leverage, accountability. I'm going to tell my coach if I don't do my prospecting, I owe $50 to his charity. Or I'm sure I've got a client on here who has had to fly here and shovel snow multiple times. Right? Or I probably have a client on here who had to shave his head live on the Tom Ferry Elite page. Leverage. By the way, guys, I can assure you my wife hates my head shaved. I put an accountability on my diet that if I cheat on my diet, I shave my head. I didn't tell anybody about it. It was a self-accountability. My wife knew that was it. That was just the way it was. That was just leverage. The leverage in my diet and my health journey, I learned everything there was to learn about fasting. And I became an expert on fasting. And then I really learned about how to dial my diet in. I probably watched 200 or 300 videos. And then I learned a ton about peptides. Those were all leverage for me. If I had just said, I'm going to diet, I would fail again and again, like I did. Now I probably could have overcome that in some way, shape, or form, but I wasn't there yet. I needed to put leverage on it. By the way, if I miss a workout, that also cost me $500. Leverage. Right? You guys, leverage beats willpower every time. So you've decided that something must change. You realize you have to make some change to make that happen. You've agreed with yourself that you're going to make that and that you can change. Now all you have to do is put leverage on it. James Clear said, systems beat moods every time. Your mood doesn't matter. Your system does. That's the power of this. Leverage is the strongest thing for me. Everybody on here knows I'm a high accountability coach. I love accountability. I'm going to give you guys one more thing on this because I think it's really important. For those of you on here that are saying accountability doesn't work for me, and I guarantee you there are some of you, that's just your way of telling me that you're not committed to it. Does that make sense, team? I can tell you this. I've had this discussion with dozens of you before. If you said to me, Coach, you owe me $500 for every call you don't make on Tuesday. By the way, I've got 23 calls booked on Tuesday. Do you know what I would say? I'd be like, let's make it 10,000. How about this? I owe you $10,000 if I miss a single call, and you owe me a really nice dinner if I don't. That's accountability. I'm not going to miss a call. I put some caveat, like my internet, me showing up, me not getting in an accident, being in the hospital. I put some caveats, but I'm like, I'm going to make every call. I'm so committed to that there's no possible way. It doesn't matter what you say in leverage. If I say to you, you should put accountability on this, and you say accountability doesn't work for me, I just tell you you're not really committed to it. You're just interested. Because if you're committed, no accountability would scare you. It's back to this sign. I can't help you until you commit, but once you commit, I won't let you fail. That's a fact. That's like the easiest thing in the world for me. So when you're interested in something, you will always find an excuse. And when you're committed to something, you will always find a way. That's the key. That's what takes you from average to extraordinary, in my mind. All right, let's go a little bit into the science. Pain and pleasure. Look, people don't change because they should. Almost never. They change because either the pain pushes them or the pleasure pulls them. Some people are guided away from pain, and some people are guided towards pleasure. Figure out which fuel works for you. They're both fuel. If you close your eyes and if imagining missing another deal because you failed to call your database, and that creates a drop in your stomach, right? Then there's some pain there. That's part of your fuel. Now, if you imagine the same client calling back and saying, we choose you, that's pleasure. We're like, I followed up, I did what I need to do, I'm getting these deals. You guys have to decide which one you want to relive, because I guarantee you that you're going to relive both of those over and over again over the next year. And it's up to you, the quantity of each. This is the power of this. When the pain becomes less than the pain of doing the action, you're going to do the action. When the pain of not doing it becomes so high that you can't deal with that anymore, now we change. When you visualize pain or pleasure with emotion, once again, we're going to go back to that emotion, your body actually releases chemicals. Stress for pain, dopamine for pleasure. That's not motivation. This is brain chemistry helping you build new associations. So you guys have to remember, instead of thinking, I hate that my clients use somebody else, you think, I learned from this and I'm going to call my clients every quarter from now on. Pleasure versus pain. You're never going to leave where you are until you decide where you'd rather be, ever. So you have to make a decision. I want you to make the decision today on something, but you have to make a decision. If you don't, you're stuck. We all know the definition of insanity, right? So break and replace, guys. Here's what it is. Say this to yourself. Old belief, I'm bad at follow-up. Bad. New belief, I'm the agent who never lets opportunity die. I'm the agent who follows up religiously. I'm the agent who tells my client exactly what their communication is going to be, and I deliver to it. That's the difference. And if you tell yourself, I'm bad at follow-up, I'm not a morning person, I can't work out, I don't work out, I'm not that person, I love ice cream and chocolate, you better be ready for the results of that are. You better be ready. So what happens is when we say things like, I don't have enough time in the day, it's actually a little bit of emotion there, right? What's actually true when you remove the emotion is, I'm not managing my time properly. Or I don't have the right help, or there's all of these other ways. You guys have to understand that if you have a belief that goes on in your head, that dozens, and if not hundreds of thousands of people in this world have overcome multiple times in their lives. And what you say to yourself is, I'm different, and you're not. We have to break that belief, and we have to replace it with a belief that is going to actually move you on the path forward. Your excuses need to become your bedtime stories, right? They're not going to exist anymore. Your fear is what's keeping you there, and you have to get rid of that fear. So here's the science behind this, you guys. The process of you telling yourself that you don't have something, it triggers your prefrontal cortex. It triggers that logic center in your brain, right? And for you allow that because it calms that fear center a little bit. All you need is one truth statement to literally deactivate that old fear. All you need to be like is say, no, I'm learning to become a better time manager. No, I'm learning to put myself in a position to maybe delegate some more stuff. I'm learning to put myself in a position to go to sleep earlier and get up earlier and do some things in the mornings before anybody wakes up that will get me to there. But if you stay in your old patterns and your old process, you're going to stay your old income. Future self. I love this little thing. I had my team make this little ballot box yesterday. They didn't quite understand it. So when my team's watching this video, I thought it was cute. The more votes you have, the better your chances of making a change, right? Here's the challenge that a lot of you have. You don't need perfection. Do you have any idea how many of you are shooting for perfection on every single video? It's disgusting. You just need to shoot and post. That's it. The reason I wear this collared shirt, I'm going to give it to you guys. I want you guys to really understand this. When I first started coaching, I used to wear a t-shirt and a ball cap all the time. I've seen Tom in t-shirts and ball caps. I was probably 2 years in, so it was like 2018. And one of my clients said, Coach, before we get off, I have a question for you. And I'm like, sure, what is it? And they're like, don't take this wrong. I'm like, okay, go ahead. And they're like, how come you're always dressed like a bum? I swear to God, you guys, my client asked, how come I'm always dressed like a bum? And I was like, I guess I have not paid that close of attention to it, but I promise you that you'll never have to ask that question again. I didn't own a single one of these Travis Matthews shirts. I wear these all the time now. You ask my wife, there's probably 40 of them in my closet. They're not cheap. They're $100, $100+ a piece. But I've never been on a coaching call since then in anything other than a collared shirt dressed without a ball cap. I realized that the way I was dressing was affecting the quality of my coaching. Now, it wasn't affecting it with all of you guys, but it was affecting some of you clearly. So I had to make a change. I had to do something for my future self, right? Every time you act in alignment with a desired identity, your brain builds confidence loops. Evidence creates belief faster than affirmation. Evidence is what's going to get you there, right? I didn't know this for years. I've done affirmations and gratitude my whole life. My wife will tell you. But what I learned later in life was that gratitude programs your conscious mind, you guys. So when you get up in the morning and you say things that you're grateful for, it will have a direct effect on your mental state immediately. So it programs the conscious. So the more gratitude you have, the better your attitude is. This is a fact. There's a ton of science behind it. I'm not going to go into all the science right now, but it's stunning when you read the evidence on this. Affirmations program your subconscious mind. So when you're doing affirmations like I'm alive, excited, and full of energy, or when I'm doing like everybody I talk to is going to be better today because I'm helping them, I'm programming my subconscious mind. What that does is when there's something that's debilitating or something really big that happens to me that would normally take me off, my affirmations keep me from falling. My subconscious mind keeps me up. I've gone years where I didn't do gratitude and affirmations because I didn't feel like it was working, because probably I didn't understand it properly. And then once I learned and re-understood it and got in it, I've never missed. That's just what I do. Here's the deal. That mid-tier agent I told you that was dressing improperly, once they started dressing like a top producer, she said the role that I played became different. And I started attracting bigger clients. And do you think it was the bigger clients were attracted to her because she was dressing better? No, it was because in her mind, she was attractive to bigger clients. Maybe some of them thought that, but you guys got to remember, all of your actions have to be in alignment with your desired identity. Your brain is going to build those confidence loops, right? We'll use one of Tom's favorite sayings. He says it all the time. It's actually James Clear who said it. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Is dressing properly a system? It could be. Everything could be a system. So for you guys, you just have to remember that, put together all of these reasons, all of the ballots on why you need to make some small changes to your identity, and then follow that. All right. Repeat in community. Look at solo breakthroughs fade. Group breakthroughs stick. When I told you guys it cost me $500 every time I miss a workout, it's not $500. I've got 5 $100 accountabilities with 5 different clients that I have to send a picture to or in a video to every single morning. I've put systems in place to keep that from happening. I've put accountability in place that hurts so much that no matter what time it is at night, I'm going to get it done. That's true accountability. For those of you on the call that don't know, for years, I was coached by a guy named Bill Pipes, who's no longer with our organization, but he was for a long time. And then for years, he worked for me. We would do accountability that would scare all of you guys. We made Bill wash everybody's car in a Speedo on accountability. You guys, 2,000 of our employees, we paid for everything. We're all on a cruise ship. Bill had to wear white pants, white shirt, and a captain's hat, and everybody had to call him Captain Steubing. Now, for every time he lost an accountability like that, he won an accountability, whereas if you win, it's $25,000. We had 3,000 employees. It was a big company. Or you get a new Panerai, or you get a new Rolex. Like, we had some fun accountabilities, but we had some brutal ones too. And it's not necessarily just that, but it was the community and everybody was involved. So for us, when you share your wins with your accountability group, your chances of repeating those wins rise exponentially. Accountability multiplies success. These are facts. So if you guys do something as simple as like, I'm going to commit to 21 days of accountability with this small group, with a mastermind here or a mastermind or your wife, you guys, there's probably never been an accountability for me where it wasn't one or two people in my office, one or two of my friends, and somebody in my family, my wife or somebody else. When I'm serious about something, I always put 4 or 5 levels of accountability because it keeps me from historically failing. Here's the deal. When we put accountability, especially on big teams, right? The growth and the conversion goes through the roof. When we put 21-day win challenge, like you have to get a win every single day, 1 win a day, by week 3, our closings have grown by 30%, right? And guess what? The team, instead of our leads suck, they're all smiling on the calls then. When your volume goes up by 40%, your culture changes, your mindset changes. So, the habits stabilize when they're repeated in a community. So I really want you guys to try to find your community, find your tribe, right? Your brain's going to mirror the people around you. If everybody as a tribe is being held into this accountability, that mirror, it becomes part of this neuron science. You guys have all heard you're the culmination of the 5 people you surround yourself with. That was coined by, I think it was Jim Rohn or Brian Tracy. One of them originally coined it. I actually think it's wrong. And I'm going to tell you guys why, because I think it's beyond that. I think it's better than that. I think that I'm the culmination of the 5 couples I surround myself with that have great relationships. That will help me have a better relationship. The 5 friends I have that are like true deep friends, that's going to help me have better friendships. The 5 super successful people that are going to help me raise my business up and live my business up, that's going to help me in my business. So I think it's more than just the 5 people. I think you can surround yourself with greatness and automatically create greatness, right? And that accountability that you do with your community, it's the glue that will tie your commitment to your results. So here it is, 21-day activation. Here's your plan. Days 1 through 7, you guys, I want awareness. I want you to, every time you have that old thought, you replace it. This is what I need from you. It takes 21 days to build a habit, 90 days to build a lifestyle, 365 days to build a deep neural pathway. So this is not going to be easy. But if every time you have this awareness in days 1 through 7 and you catch that old thought and you replace it, you're on your way to action. Days 8 through 14, I want you to do one uncomfortable thing daily that moves you towards that awareness, that action. Every single day, we're just going to do one thing. By the way, it can just be 1%, right? And then days 15 through 21 is what I call reinforcement. You track and you celebrate your wins. So I'll give you the Pearson version of it in the 20s because the English was a little different. Anything that we track and measure improves. So anything we're tracking and measuring improves. And then anything we track, measure, and report to someone improves exponentially, right? That's the key right there. So reinforcement, we track and we celebrate our wins. Here are the 3 things that you guys probably need to write. My new belief is X. My new belief is X. My identity is I'm the kind of agent who does blank, period. I'm the kind of agent that does blank, or my daily action is blank. So if you write that, here's my new belief, here's my new identity, here's my daily action, and you repeat that to yourself every single day during this 21 days, you will create this.